This is nearly here. You need a bath. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh. If you just class that as... Just to recap, it's the next morning. So on another video,
yes, so I've got to rig up a bit of access so that I can batten out this wall. Here's not so bad, above the door and around the door. Put some timbers around that, across the ceiling, but to get to the other side I need that access. I'll show you that. Got my batter, my step ladder, my chisels, hammer, crowbar, gloves and a pair of pliers. I'll just move you a little bit. So I've had a good think about this. Too much thinking really, but what I've got to achieve is to take this piece of glass out of here. Now I've thought of all different ways of doing it. I was going to put these battens around the window and then plasterboard onto the battens, you know, like that. And that's not a bad idea. And I may still do that, but getting some fixings on the battens at the very top, even off this rig, I can't reach. You'd have to be about 7 foot tall to reach safely. And across the top and fasten it, you know. And the other thing is, I think I'm overcomplicated it. At the end of the day, I could batten this entire wall, plasterboard it. I wouldn't need to plaster it because there's some heavy duty wallpaper going up there. But I'll show you another problem that I've got if I batten the wall. What I did was, oh yeah, you can. This is the door frame, and I took the architrave off. It's not very good architrave anyway, it's not decorative at all. But of course, if I put a batten on there, ready to put plasterboard on, then essentially I'm pushing this wall out, which means that when you open the door, I'll show you. So, see, your architrave would have gone on here. If I put a batten on here, and then a plasterboard, you essentially make this door shut wider and the other side. And then you've got to put architrave on the front of there, which means you've got to have a finished product here, finished surface, ready for painting. And you know, it's getting more and more involved. So I don't think the solution I've come up with is the right one. So I'm going to take the glass out. Willow is safe, as is Cheryl. I can close the door to the room they're in, just in case the glass breaks when I'm taking it out. I'll be safe because if I see any cracking, I can step back and rethink things. The problem is that this here, that is a shelf that is in the other room, and I quite like the shelf. and there's a lip here. So it ain't like I can take the glass out, put a bit of framing in, plasterboard it or something, maybe MDF, and then just wallpaper because of this lip here. And that is a problem. But there's two ways around that. One is that I can get my multi-tool, or I've got chisels, and cut this off all the way around, either with chisels or the multi-tool. Or I can blend this in with some plaster. Either way, it's a pain. But I think this way, taking the glass out, is the simplest way to do it. I mean, alright, it's a bit cheaper, but that's not why I'm doing it this way. Yeah. I don't like it, if I'm honest. I don't want to do this job. But slow and steady, slow and steady. Right, let's have a go. What? Oh. Right, so I've got that bead off that's around it. I've got to get this little glass bead out now. And that is going to be tricky. I suspect that whatever I do, I'm going to break this glass. I've just got a feeling. I mean, it might be safer to break the glass, you know, and get it all down there and then clean it up. But I don't want to do that. You've only got to miss a piece of glass and one of us stand on it. Although I'm quite good at getting cleaned up. I'll have a go. I think if I can get this end bead out, then that should do okay. Right. We'll have a go. I'm not the most agile of people anymore. And it's quite the drop, you know, from a platform down, the stairs go down a curve, and I'd be falling into an awkward place. Nothing like carrying a sharp chisel and being on a sketchy rig. Yeah. Anyway. My goodness, that glass is tight. Now, I won't be able to lift the glass out at the minute because the nails that were holding the bead are still in there, so I've got to get them out. I mean, I've got to get the whole of the bead off yet, but okay. So that's interesting. I thought, and we're on the other side of this wall now in the little bedroom, I thought that that was a piece of board because it's different to the glass. What it is, on the other side of the glass, it's bobbled. On this side, it's flat. And if you look in this corner here, you'll see where I've gone through the glass a little bit and it's split. And there is a bead around there. So that's going to be interesting. on how I actually replaced the board, or the glass I should say, with a piece of board, because the board can only be as thick as the glass unless I take this bead off. Oh, I'll have a break. I'm back. Oh, I've left my gloves downstairs. That won't be a minute. One, they're inch 25mm nails. I guess whoever put this in did not want or any chance of it falling out, but yeah, not uncommon, this, you know. Part of the trick is to remember that you stood on a thin board, or not thin, not very wide board. This one I'm stood on is a really thick piece, 2-inch thick piece of oak that I found in the house. Oh, it was a mantle on an old fireplace we took out. And if you're wondering, gosh, you're shaking, how frightened are you? I'm not. I've got a tremor. You know, one of these tremors that you get. And all the bead from around it taken off, but I was hoping it would just fall out. It won't, because it's painted, or been painted at this side, so there'll be bits of paint holding it and little bits of wood where I've been pulling at the nails, but on the other side of this glass it's been painted. And it's been painted to another bead. I think that's what's going to hold it. I think what I'm going to do is see if it will move. I'm going to get a chisel in here, stand well back and see if it'll lift and maybe walk a little bit. If it breaks, it breaks, you know. Let me have a go. I was kind of hoping they'd put the safety glass in, but they haven't. Okay, so you can see it bending. What's holding it together is this paint. It's only emulsion. Okay. Yeah, okay. Right, it's actually in 2 bits. kind of do is keep one piece in while I take a piece out. You can see that. Right, okay. Oh. So at this point, don't get overconfident. Well, never do this. Oh, it's coat. Okay. Oops. There we are. So there's all bits of glass in here. So I'm going to have to get the hoover, give it a good hoover in there. Yeah, there's a bead here, which I'll have to take off, because what I want to do now is put a frame around here, a couple of bits, and then put a board in. Right, it's safe. To be honest, what made it doable, doable, there's a word, was that it had been painted on both sides, so it held together. Otherwise, I think it might have shattered. Don't ever do this. This, you know, why am I doing this? You know? I'm doing it because I like doing it. Don't you ever do it? Of course not. Why would you? Get somebody in to do it. Unless you know what you're doing and blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Yeah. I need to get cleaned up, particularly the glass on here. Alright, let's do that. So that's, you know, the little room we're in. And this is the bead I've got to take off, put a frame in, and then board it. What's this? Willow's favourite toy. She goes a bit crackers. Well done. So when you're playing with her, she's got a hell of a bite on her, haven't you? Eh? Yeah. So today, I've got to tidy up. It's not too bad in here, but I've got to get tidied. I've got some materials coming from Wicks to help finish a couple of the jobs in the house. First job is always, for me anyway, is get my tools tidied up, get the area ready. You know, then I can get on. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get some jobs moving a little bit again this week. It's not too cold today, just by the way. It's dark, as you can see. Well, say dark. People just waking up. ready to start their day. Probably those who need to be at work by 8 o'clock, already been up an hour or so. Anyway, I'll get tidied up. You don't need to see me do that. And then I'll have a look at what jobs I might do today. So, what I'm going to do is measure that, get it cut and ready to put in. But Cheryl's on the phone most of today with students, so I don't think it'll be today. Now, there's that multi-tool I told you about, or to go on with multi-tool. That will cut this ledge off here, this lip. Yeah, £15 these, but that multi-tool or oscillating tool, worth its weight in gold these days. Right, I've got this board cut. I've used ply, a bit sturdier, but as you can see, rough where the paint's been, so I'll have to deal with that first. But it's not glued or anything in place. I'll show you how it's been held. This side, you can see I've put one of these brackets in, and it's not touching the board, but it will. I'm going to put another one in here. I might put one at the top. All it is the board at the minute is just stood there, so it's not a bad fit, but I've got to glue the other side once I clean that out, and then I'll run a bit of glue on this side, liquid nails, and that's that job done. I can take my brackets out in a couple of days once the glue has dried. There was tiny bits of glass, cut my thumb, tiny cut, but sharp glass, so you know how they bleed. Anyway, I'm just going to tidy up around this edge, one of these, and then put some glue in. Instant grab adhesive or no more nails. Oh. So I got a bit of that liquid nails in, enough around it to hold it once I've pushed it in from the other side a bit. Right, let's have a go at that. Now, in an ideal world, I've put the steps there, the ladders, And that's probably enough. But I can't do that because I can't leave the ladders here. You can't get up and down the stairs. So I'm going to have to put one of those brackets in this side and then maybe put some packers behind it to push the board in. I'll show you what I mean. Actually, you can't see me from there. I'll move you just a minute. These are them shims that I've got 2 boxes of. We'll give this a go. I've got it, that's enough. This one has got a gap, but the board's tight, but I'll push it in anyway. There you go. So that's, you can see this bracket pushed off the wall because I couldn't get the screw all the way in, but put a big shim in and it pushes the board back. That is now in place and secure. What I'll do is I'll put a bit of glue, maybe, bit there, in this corner. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe, I don't think it needs it. I'll put some in. Tidy up. Get everything where it should be. Yeah, I've made a bit of a mess one way or another in every room upstairs. Really pleased with the board that I did. That can glue overnight. And then maybe tomorrow I'll cut that bottom bit of timber off with my multi-tool, get it as flat as I can. And that can be papered. So I was just talking about that with Cheryl. So the other day I showed you around the projects in the house that I left to do, and we have got a big project in our bedroom, which is that ceiling. Then everything wants decorating. I've got to go up in the loft first, just as a reminder. Make sure that the repair that was done by a roofer is good, you know. And we've had a lot of rain and snow, so it's a good test for it. Anyway, got to go up in the loft. So I'm going to get tidied right through the top of the house. I've got to tidy my garage. The next project, this type of project, will be lining paper, we've decided that the hallway stairs landing where I'm stood can now all be decorated. So I'm going to do all the lining paper, that's easy. We may or may not get decorators in. I've also got to run some panelling in, which I quite like that and does look good, to be honest, but that'll be after papering but before emulsioning, if you see what I mean. Good. I think that's enough for this Friday one. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the week. A video every day. I'll have a look at the comments section. But yeah, keep commenting. Why not? Everybody's got their own opinion. We have, obviously. We're doing this to our taste, but we do like your opinions. And some of them are really useful. You know, we've had them on the kitchen where I didn't know I'd done something wrong and somebody said, hey, look at that. And I followed that and put it right. So that was really useful. We've had others, I just can't remember them. Anyway, that's Friday done. Wherever you are in the world, take care. We'll see you Sunday, all being well. Bye for now.